Hey everybody, welcome back to Fabulist Duo Short Stories. We are here for episode 27. I know that last week we didn't get a chance to go ahead and post an episode. We just have a lot of stuff going on in terms of traveling and, work-related stuff, but we are here this week. We have our live next week, so tune into that. My name is Kristen, and here is... Michelle's not here. Looks like this week it's going to be Fabulist solo short stories. That's okay. If you guys haven't already, you can subscribe to us on YouTube, Podbean, Spotify, Listen Notes, Google Podcasts, and Samsung Podcasts. So feel free to just dive into your favorite listening platform, and you can listen to all of our stories and some of our fun blooper episodes. Last time we were here, we decided it was going to be Ghost Week. So the prompts that we had given each other, I gave Michelle a prompt where it was basically ghosts are just living and humans are terrorizing them. So she took a nice classical ghost story approach on that one, while my story that she gave me the prompt for was a person can feel the ghosts around them, but they can't see them. That's kind of spooky. So, this week's story, Michelle had given me the prompt, a time when potatoes are illegal and speakeasies for potatoes pop up all over the country. I know, super weird. Potato speakeasy. So the title of my story is Small Fry. After the last World War, there was barely anything left standing. The nuclear warfare that began had decimated the lands that we lived in. Somehow, strangely enough, there was one place untouched, or rather, did not seem to be on anyone's radar until the war ended. It's almost as if this entire nation did not exist until the war had ended, and a veil was lifted, exposing themselves as the only country left standing. The only country that had resources and power. Everyone thought it was odd, like it was planned by this country to pull the strings and start a war. To make matters even stranger, this country was led by a group of the world's most hated but richest world leaders. Although this country seemed odd and no one knew what was really being plotted behind the scenes, life was pretty peaceful. All of our laws were generally the same as they were before, the usual do not kill or steal type of stuff, and after that war, crime rates were basically non-existent, technically. A new law was passed in which potatoes were now illegal, as they were something for only the elite to eat. Some say that after the last war, the lingering radiation in the air had contaminated the potatoes, and now everyone that eats them gets temporary superpowers. Others say that if you eat a potato, you can see the memories of the potato. No one really knew what the deal was with that law, but being in a world where potatoes were illegal was outrageous. To make matters more interesting, it seems that potato products made before and during the war were fine for us to consume, although they were mostly expired. It was strictly new, raw potatoes that were illegal. However, there were rumors of a speakeasy somewhere in town that serves potatoes. The cost was said to be greater than one could pay while living in this country, so finding a person that actually experienced it was near impossible. Ever since I heard of this place, I needed to get in there somehow. A meal without potatoes accompanying my meat made no sense to me. My childhood meals consisted of rice with meat and potatoes, or some sort of chunky potato soup with meat and carrots. There are so many ways to cook them that every meal had that bit of flair to it. Mash them up, fry them, mash them and then fry them, boil them, grill them, bake them. The more I thought about it, the more I would drool and crave those delicious meals from before the war. Those meals that I shared with my family and friends. Before the war, I used to work as a bartender, so I had thought perhaps I could find jobs around town looking for something similar, and eventually I would find a speakeasy. After all, what is a speakeasy without some drinks? I had searched and searched, but received no follow ups with anyone, until a kind old man who looked very frail took pity on me and said I could work for him. I was hesitant at first, but I did still need a job anyway. One of the new laws stated any person not employed for a certain period of time is kicked out of the country as they are not contributing to society. With that, I had told the old man I would gladly accompany him in his pub. My core duties were pretty normal. The usual clean here, sweep there, mix a drink when a customer shows up, simple things that just about anyone could do. Of course, since I had some past experience, I was able to do some fancy tricks that kept the old man amused and happy. And the customers were pretty fond of my skills as well. Although I was having a lot of fun, I was not getting any clues about the speakeasy at all. The old man didn't even know what I was talking about whenever I brought it up. At this point, it seemed like it was just a myth. One of those tales people tell just to have something to talk about and build conspiracies against the government. After about 3 months of working here, I had forgotten about looking for the speakeasy, since it seemed to have been a dead myth by this point. The pub was doing well, and business had been thriving since I got here. After all, the war wiped out a lot of people, so a bartender that could do such elegant tricks like me is definitely a sight to see. I was getting ready to close up shop as it had hit about 5 in the morning, and everyone had either left to go to their jobs or back to their homes to pass out. Once everything was cleaned up and ready for my next shift, the old man approached me. "Hey, Jackson, you've been here for a while. The customers love you. You've been a great help," he started. "Come with me. Let's take a walk and talk about your future a bit." He put his arm around my shoulder and guided me to the alleyway of the pub. This kind old man that gave me a chance. There was no way he would shank me and leave me here to die, right? That's when he opened up our locked cellar in the back of the alley and used a flashlight to guide us down the stairs. "I think it's time you see the good stuff we save for special customers," he snickered as he carefully proceeded down the stairway. The air smelled earthy down here, and it was extremely dark. I tried looking around, but as I lagged behind, I realized I would have to find my way out of the darkness somehow. Up ahead, I heard a door creaking, and a light beamed through that helped me catch up again. I could not believe my eyes when I stepped through that door. A secondary bar was here, and they had another bartender who could do even more fancy tricks than me. The old man started laughing as he watched my jaw drop from this magnificent sight. "How about we get you to sample the product?" he said as he waved his hand over to one of the workers, who hurried off to a back room. Upon their return, they had a plate of tater tots with some ketchup on the side, as well as a large baked potato with sour cream and chives. Still dazed by all of this, I was slack-jawed, until the old man threw a tater into my mouth. The rumors were right. These potatoes did have special abilities to show us memories. The second I chewed into the crisp tater tot, I was immediately reminded of life before the war, the taste of my childhood, the memories of family, love, and a carefree meal. Tears streamed from my eyes as I chewed slowly. This is exactly why this new government banned potatoes. They wanted us to forget about the happiness and memories that their war destroyed. But now that I've had a taste, I will make sure everyone is reminded of what we lost. And there you go. That is my story. So, hoped you all loved that story there. And prompt that I have given Michelle for next week's live is that all previously extinct animals suddenly reappear slowly around the globe. The prompt that she has provided me for next week is a tale about a garden gnome that comes to life. I don't know if anybody's familiar with, Goosebumps, I believe? Was it Goosebumps? Was it Are You Afraid of the Dark? It was one of those. Maybe it was both of those. Maybe it was all of those. Childhood for us was very interesting. But hope you loved this week's episode. Tune in next week for our live. Bye, everybody!